Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel, All the Stories. Today I am doing the Game of Thrones book tag. If you didn't know, Game of Thrones is my favorite TV show and one of my favorite series. I'm so excited about season 8 that I wanted to do the Game of Thrones book tag. Well, I wanted to make a Game of Thrones book tag because I had never seen one done before, but then after I looked it up, I found out that there were already like two different ones out there. So I was trying to figure out which of the two I wanted to do, and then I decided to do both of them. So today I will be doing the Game of Thrones book tag, and I will be doing, there are two different tags called the Game of Thrones book tag. I will be doing the questions from both, and I will just be combining them. I will be linking both of the original creators' videos down below so you can go check them out. So one of the tags is character based. They have questions based on some of the different characters of the show, like the main characters of the show. And then the second tag has questions based off the house names and the sayings that go along with the house names. So I will be doing the one with the characters first. So let's just hop on into it. Question number 1 is Arya, and is a character that's all about revenge. So the first character I thought about this was actually not the one I'm going to use for it, because I was trying to keep all the questions to one book, like not reuse books for different questions. So the character that I chose for this question was Mina from Strange the Dreamer. She is a great fit for this question because she is so consumed by revenge that she doesn't even know how to be herself without this revenge fantasy. She doesn't know who she is without this revenge that she wants to take. Mina is consumed by revenge. She really wants to kill all of the people, but specifically the main person that came into her home and killed all of her siblings and half siblings. And that sounds really vague, but I don't want to spoil Strange the Dreamer, and I feel like anything spoils Strange the Dreamer, so that's all I'm going to say about it. This is one of my favorite books, by the way. But yeah, that's all I can go into about how this book is about revenge without spoiling it. Question number 2 is Varys, and that is a book featuring political intrigue. And for that, I'll be choosing City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This book is filled with political intrigue. It features so much political intrigue. That's the whole part of this book. Is this girl is going to this place that is basically the political system isn't working, and there's kind of chaos going on, and she's trying to keep everything together, and it's just so much political intrigue, so beautifully done. This is an adult fantasy series that I've talked about before on my channel. I read the first and second book in this series this year. The second book came out in January, and the first book came out in 2017, I believe. But this is a great series full of a ton of political intrigue. Question number 3 is Joffrey a character you love to hate? And for this, I'm going to go with Dolores Umbridge from the Harry Potter series, specifically Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. That lady is the worst. She is so unnecessarily awful, and I just hate everything about her. Like, nothing. She has no redeeming features, nothing. She's just an awful person. Question number 4 is for Jon Snow, and it is a coming-of-age story. For that, I chose a book that I've recently read, and that is Ramona Blue by Julie Murphy. This is a coming-of-age story about a girl really just coming into her senior year of high school, deciding what college she wants to go to, deciding if she wants to go to college, coming to terms with her sexuality, and it's just such a beautiful coming-of-age high school story, and I loved it. Question number 5 is Jaime and Cersei, and it is a ship you just can't get behind. Now this one is probably kind of controversial, and this isn't, I couldn't think of anything specifically for this, like a ship I just can't get behind, but then I happened to see this book on my shelf and think about it, and I personally loved this ship when it first happened, or I really liked this ship when it first happened, but then as the story went on, I'm just gonna tell you the book first, and that is, first off, the book that the thing happened in is Kingdom of Ash, so I'm holding up Kingdom of Ash. But the ship I can't get behind is Aedion and Lysandra. Aedion treats Lysandra so badly in this. It's just ridiculous. Like, he is so awful to her for no reason. I'm trying not to spoil this, so I can't really tell you the ins and outs of why he treats her so badly or why I can't get behind this ship, but this book really made me dislike this ship. I mean, am I mad that it ended how it ended? No, but I just didn't like this ship. As like every time I was reading about their relationship in this book, I was just so over it. Question number 6 is Lady Olenna a kick-ass older character? Okay, first off, I want to preface this by saying no character is more kick-ass than Lady Olenna for an older character. She's the best. She's amazing. So I had trouble finding a character that was as amazing as Lady Olenna. And then also there are not that many like older characters. Most of the books I read in YA are YA, so it's like teenagers. So there's not many older characters besides parents, and most of the books the parents aren't really there. But then I thought about this book, and I think this is a great book to pick for this. They're kick-ass in like their own way, and that is The Hate U Give, and the kick-ass older characters are Star's parents. I love both of Star's parents in this. They're such amazing parents. They're such amazing characters. They are so kick-ass in their own ways, and the way they support Star and the way they parent Star is just so amazing, and I really think that they're great older characters in this. Question number 7 is Dany, and you're supposed to pick a book featuring dragons. So of course I was going to pick Eragon, but then I was like, Kristen, you talk about that in almost every video, so I'm going to pick another recent read, and that is The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This is a dragon rider, high fantasy, adult fantasy story, so it fits. There's dragons on the cover and in the book. Question number 7 is Daenerys, and that is a character you grew to love. And for this question, I am going to go with Billy from Daisy Jones and the Six. I did not like Billy as I was reading this book, but then towards the end I started to see Billy in a different light, and I really did start to really enjoy Billy as a character in this book. But did I like him at the beginning? Not at all. By the end, I grew to like him. Is he my favorite character in this book? No, I did grow to like him by the end, considering I really disliked him at the beginning. Question number 9 is Melisandre, and for that you're supposed to pick your book with your favorite magic system. So I'm going to choose my recent read for this because I really enjoy the magic system in the book Foundryside by Robert Jackson Bennett. This is such a unique magic system that I've never seen anything like it in a book before, and it's so interesting and so unique. It has like a system of scribing where you can write in a specialized language on an object to imbue that object with special powers. And then our main character also has a unique power unto herself where she can touch any object and tell the history of that object and everything that's touching it or near it or anything like that. Like she can touch a wall and figure out all the handholds on that wall to find the best way to climb it and the areas where that wall might be weakened and things of that nature. Or she can touch the floor and see how many people are standing on that floor, where they are in relation to the floor, all that jazz. And it's such a unique magic system, and I'm really enjoying the book so far. The last question for the first half of this video is question number 10, Tyrion, and for this you're supposed to pick a character whose weapon is their mind. And for that I'm going to choose Elliot from In Other Lands by Sarah Rees Brennan, because Elliot is he definitely uses his mind as his weapon, because in this world you're either a warrior or a scholar, and Elliot is definitely a scholar, and he tries to solve all conflicts without violence and using logic and his mind and, you know, scholarly pursuits to solve all conflicts without it devolving into fighting. So he's definitely a very Tyrion-esque character, but with way more sass and way more annoying. So that was all the questions for one of the tags. So we're gonna move on to the 7 questions for the other tag. This one again is based on all the houses and their house phrases. Is that what they're called? Their words, their house words. So the first house is House Lannister, and their words are Hear Me Roar. For this question, you're supposed to pick a book that you really liked at the beginning, but upon rereading it or further reflection, you realize that it's not so great. For this, I'm kind of going to go with like a cop-out answer, and I'm going to say Twilight, because I mean, I loved the Twilight Saga when I first read it, but I mean, looking back on it, it's definitely problematic. The next question is for House Stark, and the words are Winter is Coming. And for this, you're supposed to pick your most anticipated release of the year, and mine is 100% Dark Dawn by Jay Kristoff, which is the sequel, or which is the 3rd book in the Nevernight trilogy, which is coming out in September of this year. Question number 3 is House Targaryen, and their words are Fire and Blood. The question is, name a book that completely slayed with fantastic characters, plot, pacing, etc. As for this question, I'm definitely going to choose Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This book, I love the plot, I love the pacing. Some people say it's slow in the beginning, but I mean, personally, I was just getting used to the world in the beginning and all the different magic. So I mean, I wasn't minding that it was slow because it's such character-driven stories, has great characters, great plot, great action, everything. I just love it. Question number 4 is House Baratheon, Ours is the Fury. And for this, you're supposed to name a book with a cliffhanger ending that really pissed you off. And for this, I was going to go with Strange the Dreamer, but I've already mentioned Strange the Dreamer. So I'm going to go with Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare, because if you know what happens at the end, you know yeah. That ending though. That ending really pissed me off. Question number 5 is House Martell, and the words are unbound, unbent, unbroken. And for this is to name a book or a book series that's been on your TBR since the dawn of time. So I am going to say The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak has been on my TBR forever. I wanted to read this since I saw the movie years and years ago, and then I just never read it. And then last year I ended up buying the book and I still haven't read it. So maybe I should pick this up soon. Will I? Who knows? Who knows? Question number 6 is for House Bolton. Their words are Our Blades Are Sharp. And for this, you're supposed to pick the most graphic or the most disturbing book you've ever read. I don't really have a book that disturbed me, but I definitely have a book that's very graphic. And for that, I'm going to pick Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. This book is graphic. This book is gory. There is a lot of killing. There's a lot of blood. There's a lot of guts. There's a lot of sex. It's just super graphic. Nothing hold back. And I love it. Very Game of Thrones-esque in that fact that there's a lot of blood, a lot of killing, a lot of sex. And the very last question, question number 7, is for House Tyrell, and their words are Growing Strong. And for this, it's like a 2-part. You can do either or. I'm actually just going to do both because my answer for both would be the same. One version of the question is name a book that you think got better with each installment, and the other version of the question is name a book that you think got better with each reread. And my answer for both would be the same, and that is Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. I think the book gets better every time I read it, and it also, I think it gets better as the series goes on because the books get more complex and they get progressively darker, and I think it gets better. The characters get older, they're more developed. I just think it gets so much better as it goes on. So that is it for the Game of Thrones book tag. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope that you tune in to watch the final season of Game of Thrones. I definitely will be, and maybe we can talk about it. Let me know in the comments below if you are excited about this season. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.